Eve!
Ning.
All
How?
are...
Me.
What? Welcome to Dr. I'm Chris.
I'm not Chris.
And holy balls. As of this recording, on the 24th of November, 2023, yes, we're recording this the day after the 60th birthday of Doctor Who, and yes, we watched the last of these yesterday on the 60th birthday of Doctor Who.
I didn't even mean to.
Didn't even mean to. It was just like, while we're here, let's go. Let's keep watching them and then record them in bulk.
Friggin' go now.
This is, as of this project beginning in 2018, this is the last bit of physical media chronologically in our marathon that we own. This steelbook. Which I got.
It's a very pretty steelbook.
It's a beautiful steelbook, and I got it because the cost of Eve of the Daleks and Legend of the Sea Devils was like $15.99, and the cost of Power of the Doctor was like $15.99, and it was $29.99 for this steelbook on release. So I just went, the moment I found that out, I'm just buying that now.
They've made some crazy decisions.
I'm pre-ordering it, so I'm spending a penny more than it would be to own the two separately, to have it in this beautiful steelbook case.
I think that penny's worth it.
Yes, and it also keeps. It's sort of it's sort of retroactively making the Chibnall era less egregious as far as DVD space goes.
Yeah,
DVD shelf space.
That's weird.
Because Series 10 finally got the modern era stuff down to a slim ass case for all of the discs it had, and then suddenly we went back to 2.5 Blu-ray thicknesses worth of case for Series 11 and 12. So, having two releases in one slim steelbook, yas, queen. Some might be going, that is a pathetic thing to be fussing about. But the other 95% of people watching this all feel the same way.
Exactly.
Right, Eve of the Daleks. The New Year's Day special in 2022. The first story in 9 months to go out on telebobs. The third in Chibnall's Dalek Trilogy, albeit this one not really have anything to do with the previous two. The previous two obviously are a sequel to that story. This one is more a PS to Flux, really. So, yeah, this is the one where it's... what's the issue with the TARDIS? So the anomalies in the TARDIS that were caused by the flux, the Doctor, Yaz, and Dan go, right, let's fix it. Here's a thing I need to do. I've never done this before, and it could result in the TARDIS screwing up massively. And so we need to be outside of it. So it's going to be like this for 24 hours, whatever. But I'm parking us on a beach where we're going to hang out with all these singing, dancing sea creatures and drink mocktails and have a gay old time, and it'll be great. And then they step out to find they're actually in a self-storage facility in Manchester.
Hey.
Is this the first story to be set in our turf?
Home turf!
I think it might be. Again, as of this recording, we know that Millie Gibson's character Ruby Sunday is probably going to be from Manchester, so we'll find that out in a month from us.
Beautiful places to film in Manchester. A lot of places do film in Manchester.
A lot of Manchester's Northern Quarter and areas around the Northern Quarter are used for the filming of cities like New York in certain time periods, because they have the same building structures as 30s, 40s New York.
Chris Evans was very near to where I work.
Yeah, Chris Evans legged it down the road.
He did. Right into my arms. No.
Hayley Atwell has shot a machine gun on that road. Was it? I can't remember. When she runs out and fires after Richard Armitage. Richard Armitage has played a Nazi on that road.
Right into my arms.
Wait, what? So, he's just hugging all the handsome men. It's like, come here, you. Come here, lads. What is Richard Armitage's sexiest role, and why, strangely, is it his character from the Hobbit trilogy?
I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know who you're talking about.
I'm
really bad with names. Sorry, just to point out.
What's the character called now? And that's why I'm trying to bring it up. Sonny Jim.
Bring it up.
Richard Armitage. This fella.
Oh, yes.
Handsome man, and there he was in the Hobbit trilogy. Yeah?
What else has he been in?
Well, I mostly remember him from the Robin Hood TV series on the BBC. There he is in Cap. He's the dude who sabotages the experiment.
Oh, he's not sexy.
Well, no, he's playing an evil Nazi man.
Nazis are not sexy.
But do you know who is sexy?
Unless it's Christoph Waltz.
Do you know who is sexy? No, no. That sentence is going to be so taken out of context forever.
No, I'm joking.
So Christoph Waltz is a handsome man, and his performance in Inglourious Bastards is incredible.
Did he win an Oscar for that, or was it for?
I can't remember. Which would you fancy more in, Inglourious Bastards or Django Unchained?
Django.
Cool. Eve of the Daleks features Manchester. Features Ajani Salmon. Features Aisling B.
Sorry, man. Aye! Sorry.
Features a over-the-phone cameo from Pauline McLynn.
Yeah, he's still here though.
Who appears ageless because we first knew of her playing an old woman, despite the fact she would have been in her early 30s.
Yeah, crazy. She looks great. I went, oh my god, she looks great! So I was like, yeah, because now she's an older woman.
Now she's actually an older woman. Like she wasn't when she was in Father Ted.
Go on.
Also a random cameo from Johnny Dixon as Carl, which has no impact on me. He's just walking around the canal.
Oh,
he sees the fireworks. And he's like, oh, just for me then? It's like a cute little moment, but it's meant to be a, Do you remember? I mean, why would a crane driver from Sheffield randomly be there in New Year's Eve on his Bob Todd at midnight walking down a canal in Manchester?
We watched that story not that long ago. Imagine waiting all that time.
I remember Eve of the Daleks going out.
Who the hell is that?
I remember Eve of the Daleks going out. I was still in Pantoland. We'd finished our New Year's Eve shows. I'd gone out for a drink. I went back to my digs, pulled up iPlayer, stuck on Eve of the Daleks. And I'm watching it. It gets to that bit and I'm like, all right, okay. Didn't really acknowledge it beyond, oh, it's funny, it's a dude walking home, he's the only one who's witnessing these fireworks. Alright, that's kind of funny. I mean, and then I went on Twitter and people going like, oh, yay, like, oh, I'm so glad that we got to check in on Carl. And I'm like, who's Tony?
Who is Tony?
I was like, who's Carl? Like, what? And I had to Google him.
Balls, Tony. Sorry.
Oh, God. A big callback to fans of early 2000s UK sitcom DVD outtake reels there. For an out-of-print DVD that you can't find for love of money.
I'm a big fan.
She's a connoisseur of outtake reels on DVDs you can't get anymore.
They just make me so happy. They make me so happy. Yeah, so something that really... Oh no, we'll talk about it later. It's fine. I'll get back to it.
Well, I was going to say, because everyone want to keep these ones a little shorter and sharper and sweeter, would you like to provide us a framework with your notes? Because as usual, we're assuming you guys have seen Eve of the Daleks if you're watching this, and if you haven't, bit weird that you're watching a review of it from 2023 going out in 2024.
I just want to preface, I really enjoyed it.
Right? It's fun.
It was really, really
Isn't
fun.
it tons of fun?
Really fun, yeah.
It is tons o funzo.
Yeah.
Yeah, hit me. Because you'd not seen this one, had you?
No.
Because you had no idea it was Groundhog Day?
No idea. Not a clue whatsoever.
Because pre-credits, everyone got murdered and you went, wait, what? And then the credits began and you were like, no, hang on, wait, everyone's dead. They can't all be dead then.
Nick and Sarah got killed and I was like, oh no, Nick got killed and I was like, is he dead? Is he actually dead? Because why would you put him on the front?
Yeah, why would he be on the DVD menu if he's like killed off?
Even though there's been quite a few characters that have been like in the
We said Resolution.
trailers.
The cover of Resolution, the DVD menu is the three like warriors from the past and no one else.
So that didn't make any sense. The first thing that really made me laugh was, I am not Nick.
That is such a absolutely earned little meta joke.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
That's so funny. That's so like let's as we go. So the Daleks rocking up. I'm guessing you'd seen the title, so you weren't too shocked that they were in it.
No, and I knew that there was a third Dalek story coming
in Chibnall's era. Yeah, so. But what do you think? What do you think of their look? I hate the little nubbin. I hate it.
Oh, he hates it.
At one point, one of them had its nubbin like kind of open, and it looked like the little claw arm from. Sorry to spoil the illusion. From this guy from Stolen Earth, it looked like that, but in black. And I was like, okay, that doesn't look as bad. And then they had the nubbins closed for the rest of the story, and I was like, that's so annoying.
I need to tell you something.
Go on.
I love you with all of my heart.
Right. You don't get why it's
I
annoying.
think Daleks look the same.
Racist. Like a Dalek. You're a racist.
No, I'm not.
Put it this way. When they got their plungers back in Power of the Doctor, you're like, oh yeah, that looks better.
Sure.
There you go, thank you. She's saying that just to appease me. But I like their over-the-top machine gun arms.
They had a machine gun, I did notice that.
Which I remember the time people going, well, that's just overkill, because like one blast from a Dalek bolt will kill you. And it's like, yeah, but they've developed these ones, not because they're like, oh right, we're going to fire all over the place, overkill. Like, obviously, visually, it's there for the fun of, hey, imagine Daleks with a Tommy gun arm, with a mini gun arm. A Tommy gun. But the reason in the story given, which I'd forgotten about, because I've not watched this since broadcast, I really enjoyed that. The reason given was that because the Doctor had been able to lock their weaponry with the sonic, like, to sort of stall it
that was
in
cool.
recent times. This was one that was developed to bypass that, so she does it for a second, and then it's like, nope, unlocked it now. So you can imagine the multiple barrels is in case like one of them gets down, then, well, we've got multiple barrels, so don't worry about it. Great, and it's an excuse to like make some cool variant Dalek toys, which they've never made. We've never had them.
We've discussed this in previous videos, that there are toys that they could have made, but try not to.
Carbon Easter, anybody?
I loved Sarah, the actress that plays Sarah.
Aisling Bea.
Out of this, because she was nasty in this.
Just remind him of really early on.
Sorry.
Like in the earlier scenes.
Sorry.
She had a touch of the Karen Gillan about her kind of
She did.
performance in the world of this is written about that kind of this is a lot of bullshit and I don't have time for this kind of vibe that like Amy would have sometimes.
Yeah.
And I really want to shout out Ajani Salmon as Nick because the script throws a few curveballs in there that could make him very unendearing. And I think he, because of his performance, is very likeable.
He could have been very creepy.
And
he kind of was at the beginning.
Well, that's the thing. We talked about this. I think a lot of it is dependent on your idea of, like, kind of going too far.
Yeah.
Like, if you're aware of people with incredible, sort of neuroses and behavioural patterns when it comes to social stuff, like maybe people are on the spectrum or people are just incredibly, like, anxious about meeting other people and stuff, you can kind of be more forgiving in a way. You sort of get the sense that he's keeping all this stuff because he's genuinely worried that if he throws it away, he'll upset somebody. But at the same time,
at first,
you can also look at it as, but dude, this is a lot of people and a lot of things you are putting into storage. And then there's the element of he visits on New Year's Eve because he knows that Sarah will be there and he's got a crush on Sarah.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, but because there's even whole things like, I'm not stalking her to stalk her, I'd have to actively be pursuing her. He's never followed her. He's never, like, looked for her outside of work. He's maybe seen her 3 times, at least.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like, it's not that, he doesn't, like, go, well, since it's the two of us alone, he just makes small talk and moves on with his day. But there is, of course, the reverse argument, and I'm saying this from the POV of, like, a cis male. There is obviously the points I will never see of, if you're working there alone on that night every year, and every year the same bloke came because he wanted to see you, and you didn't really know him, because he had romantic intent.
That sounds like
never
creepypasta.
Like, exactly. Like, so I get it, but I think because of Ajani's performance, I think Nick gets away with being more of the, oh god, he's so anxious, he just doesn't know how to do this, does he? Okay. Because, like, the moment where she kind of basically points out to him, this is weird. Like, this is crazy, this is creepy, this is weird. Yeah. He goes like, you're right. And because he feels like he put her in it, he's like, oh, right, I'll go get killed, buy you guys more time. And she immediately then sort of sees that, like, oh, okay, dude's really bad at how he handles this. But this is a really good person. Because, like, he tried to save me in one loop, not wanting anything in return, just wanting me to be safe. And he gets killed in 2 of them, like, buying time and trying to rescue her. So it's sort of like, yeah. And it didn't have to end romantically, but I think by the end of the episode where it's like, they're dating and they're going off on travels, it doesn't feel icky. No. It's like, no, fair enough. They lived through something they could never really tell anyone else about because no one will ever believe him. And she sort of sees the value. She sort of sees like what's in his heart, really.
Yeah, sees the person that he is.
Yeah, and similarly, he sort of sees her at her nastiest in a way because of how she's feeling, but isn't going like, oh well, never mind. Then you're a bit of a moody cow. Like, there's none of that.
You're not happy like, all of the time.
Well, exactly. He's like,
no,
like exactly. So there's, I think again, it depends on approach and viewpoint. But again, I acknowledge that as like a cis dude who does not like get hit on by blokes all the time at work. Do you know what I mean? I appreciate I don't have the same perspective as everyone.
You're very handsome, that's a crime.
That's, oh God. See, we're talking about like people being shallow and then she comes out with that.
I will go and beat them up.
It was all those bruised men outside of your workplace. It's just my
piled
wife.
Up. Just
piling up these men.
My jealous wife with a frying pan.
In the cellar.
Or a wok. I was just going to say, I genuinely thought it was going down this route of, because when he puts the board game in his storage room, it's got a name on it, and like a date. Oh, excuse me. And I thought, oh my God, it's trophies. This guy's going to be a murderer. And it's like, it's going to be one of those where Daleks are the least of your worries.
Well, that's where it gets a little unbelievable to me. The fact that it's not, his storage unit isn't completely full. Like, it's a long room. And it's only like the first rack of shelves. And he's sort of put everything out, space with little notes. But all the same.
It's a lot of women.
That's a lot of people he's dated. A lot of them comfortable enough to be leaving like
one of them
a pair of shoes or a handbag or a box of Scrabble. Monopoly. And yet he's not worked up the courage to ask Sarah... Monopoly. And yet he's not worked up the courage to ask Sarah out on a date.
Yeah, he's been on a lot of dates. Yeah.
I mean, again, taking it down to a shallow level, he's a very good-looking guy.
Yeah.
Like, maybe he's a whiz on the speed dating scene, whatever. But
is speed dating still a thing?
I guess it would be. Like... Because there'd be people who'd be sick of, like, just looking at a picture and swiping. There'd be people who'd want to meet people and, like, get to know them.
Have you ever been in a storage room?
I haven't, actually, no. I wanted to say I have, but I've been in props rooms. And it's sort of the same thing. Here's where we store all our stuff, but we also own the building.
Because it was bigger than I thought. I thought... I am, unfortunately, going off of...
I've been to storage facilities, like the sort of garage-style ones.
Is that not the same thing?
It's the same thing, but some of them are just like garages out in the arse end of nowhere that you have a key for, and some of them are like that, rooms inside a building.
Oh, okay. I didn't realise there was differences. Because I was going to say, I'm just going off of Storage Wars.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Carry on,
Next
sweet lady.
Storage units scare me.
Yeah.
Because I've just heard so many stories, mostly in America, of people that have hidden bodies in storage units.
Totally not paranoid, folks.
Or somebody hiding in there. Anyway.
Well, the often mentioned, is it Jeff? Was that his name? Who wasn't there that night? And always flakes out on the shift every New Year's Eve, and yet she doesn't fire him.
Yeah.
Hurry up and fire him.
I mean, you should fire him now.
And yeah, it turns out he's only housing materials you're not allowed to house, but might be living at the facility.
Yeah, weird.
Because he's set a home upstairs.
This is a strange person. They should have investigated this person afterwards.
I'm more worried about the fact that Sarah's not been up to floor 5. Weird. It's her business.
She really doesn't care about it, though. That's very obvious.
Yeah, that's true. She just kind of inherited it and is putting up with it.
That was harsh. Sarah calling Nick weird.
And again, played completely straight.
Mm-hmm. Dan is kind, with crying emojis, offering to distract the Dalek because she saved the universe last week. Yes,
that's so... John Bishop's great in this.
He's really good in this.
He's really good in this one. And him distracting the Dalek is great, like pretending he's a courier and asking it to sign for a package.
It is a member of staff, yeah.
And then like walking around it to avoid the gun blasts for a moment, because he's right next to it. And it seems to be bamboozling it just enough until it's like, you have covered in traces of Artron energy, you are an associate of the Doctor. And he's like, took you long enough? You are
stalling for time.
Yeah. Can we talk about the mechanics of the Groundhog Day premise and the fact that it isn't just a Groundhog Day premise? it has a closing window.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Because as they point out, like they've got to. It keeps looping back. Not necessarily when they're dead, but at midnight. So the whole thing takes place in like a 7-minute window, and then a 6-minute window, and then a 5-minute window, and then jungle. And like the Doctor's theory basically is, the Daleks have enclosed the building to stop us getting out. The TARDIS is what sort of created this inadvertent time loop.
Because she's just going off on one.
Yeah, so if we die, like, say at 11:59, if we die at like 11:59, and then time resets again to 11:59, we just then get killed.
Yeah.
Or it resets after we've been killed, and we're gone.
Yeah.
So we need to stay alive till after midnight, and the only guaranteed way to do that and sort of break the loop is by getting out of the building. But I also love that the Daleks are cottoning on to there being something wrong, so they start to send an additional soldier in every couple of loops. I like that there are death squad that are basically like, look, shed load of our Daleks were taken out during the Flux event. We know you were there. You are responsible. The Daleks have basically gone, you're responsible. So we're going to kill you. Like, because that's the plot of this from their point of view. We found where the Doctor is, which is in this building in Manchester on Earth in the UK. We're going to get in there, we're going to murder her, and then we've done it. We've murdered her, we move on. We don't have to worry about the Doctor anymore.
Why don't they know by now that it's not that easy?
Well, it was. Think about it. Pre-title sequence, they did it.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Like they caught her unawares and they killed her. But it does beg a few questions. So, where were these Daleks hiding? In Flux?
Yeah. Why didn't the other Daleks go to where they were? Instead of making an alliance with the Sontarans. Weird. After Flux, there were so many unanswered questions. It was just ridiculous.
Because at least in the next story that we see, the Cybermen, 2 stories from now, they're not the Cybermen. They're the Cybermasters. So they've been off doing their own thing in prep for this.
Yeah.
Very strange.
More notes.
Yes.
Machine Gun Dalek. We talked about that. I just thought that was really cool. Nick's a clever cookie. Ducking between the Daleks.
That's great. And I love the fact that it's not entirely clear as to whether he did it on purpose or it was just a fear reflex when he realised he was dead.
I think he did it on purpose.
Okay. Because he goads him. He says, say it then.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. I wrote, Sarah's a stubborn biche.
In relation to?
Just the whole episode.
Okay. I love the recurring joke that is clearly aimed at all the older members of the audience of, we've got to call you now before the phone lines get busy at midnight. And it's like, that's not how it works anymore.
Can I tell you something?
You're on the mobile, it'll be fine. Go on.
I didn't know that wasn't a thing.
Well, think about it. You're on mobile network. When has your mobile ever been, oh, no, the line's busy? It's not, is it? Nope. Landlines, sure, maybe. Earlier mobiles, yes, like it was to do with signal and stuff, but like, you can call people so easy now.
I didn't know that.
With me, I just tend to sort of text everybody pre-midnight so that it's done, and then everyone's got the message.
Do you know what I do?
Go on.
I just don't text people.
Yeah.
Because I forget.
Bowl through me.
Beef and beans and the hootenanny. Happy New Year, Doctor. Because she's saying
when they're doing that one where they're just chilling up, where they're doing a fake plan.
Yeah.
To give the Daleks the wrong idea of what they're up to for the next loop. Yeah. We're just having some beef and beans and watching Hootenanny.
Might put the Hootenanny
on.
So funny. And that was it.
Yaz and the Doctor's prospective romantic relationship is finally lampshaded in this. In a scene where Dan basically goes, right, I've noticed the way you look at her. He mentions, like, you watched that hologram from her thousands of times in the 3 years we were travelling. Tell her how you feel about her.
Why did he never reference that? Because I thought when they came in, after she'd watched the hologram, he was going to say, like, did you watch it again? Or have you been watching it again? And she'd be like, just looking to see if I've missed anything. But it was never referenced. I thought that was why...
Well, I think this is implying that she's been trying very hard to keep her feelings secret, but Dan's been around too long and he can see it. And it's probably because he's thinking of it from the POV of, and they kind of go more into explicit about that. In the next one, this is how he's felt about Diane for so bloody long. You know what I mean? And it took him eventually, like, the two of them kind of should maybe have a night out. Not a day, it's not a day, no, it's not a day. For it to kind of happen. And he's seeing it with Yaz. He's like, oh, for God's sake, just say something. Mm. But at the same time, it's a very odd period because the Doctor is still kind of being short with Yaz a little bit.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's written as the Doctor's trying to push her away, because the Doctor doesn't want Yaz to go. The Doctor just maybe doesn't feel exactly the same way. Until she does, but we'll talk about that in the next episode. I don't hate the idea of there being a bit of a crush going on.
No.
But it is weird how much weight it puts on their relationship in such a short space of time within the show. Mm. I also, though, remember it happening in real time and it being a thing that people were sort of anticipating was going to get touched on, and then it was confirmed that, yes, we're going to finally address it in the show. And it felt longer because it was New Year's Day, Easter, later in the year that the story played out. Mm. Whereas with us, it played out over one evening and a morning.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I really like this one.
I like this one.
It's tons of fun.
It is fun.
The deaths are still quite frightening because it's a Dalek death and it's Chibnall writes them as nasty pieces of work. I love the way they kind of gloat over the fact that they're going to kill them.
I wish they would go, what's the point, at one point. Just because they...
I am so tired.
Yeah, relatable.
But yeah, I like it. Yeah. Out of the Dalek trilogy, Resolution is far and above the best one.
Yeah.
I think it's then this, and then Revolution of the Daleks.
I can't keep up with them.
Revolution of the Daleks is the one with Mr. Big and Jack Harkness and the prison.
Are you putting that last?
And the drones. That's last for me, yeah. Resolution with Alison from Ghosts. That's number one.
Yeah.
Because it's really creepy and inventive.
Yeah.
And the stuff with Ryan and his dad is a brilliant B-plot.
Yeah.
and then this one. This one's just a really fun romp.
Yeah.
Yeah. We like. What do you think? Eve of the Daleks. Is it sort of fun? I mean, it won over this person who's bored of the Daleks.
It did.
So
it did. Surely did.
It's directed very well by Annette Laufer as well. Did a good job. Let us know your thoughts down below. And speaking of down below, we'll see you next time for Legend of the Down Below Devils.
No, don't ever say that again.
Okay, I'm going to shut my gob hole.
Okay, bye.